Boba Fett, episode 7, the finale. The war, the fight, I don't know what you want to call it. How you guys feel about it?
Go ahead, Sandy, you first.
Okay, I feel like it was a little predictable because I feel like Grogu, of course, is going to go there. But I feel like the fight wasn't a fight. I feel like it was a little battle. It wasn't a war.
Yeah. It wasn't a war. It was more like a street fight, like a gang fight. That's legit what it was. It was a gang fight.
Yeah, in different areas.
Yeah, it wasn't a war. But yeah. What about you, Bryon?
The syndicate's supposed to have all these people, and literally, I think I saw 45 people. So,
total.
My question is, total. What the heck? So I'm like, okay, whatever. And then the other thing is like Freetown was supposed to bring all these extra people in, and they brought like 7. And they're like, oh, they came, they made it. Those 7 people. I didn't understand. I was like, all right, well, what? That's what you're waiting for? Those 7 people. Okay. You know? And then how these killer robots just sneak up on you? How do you not see it coming? I don't understand. Like, did they build them like inside? It's like IKEA. You build the thing inside the room so you don't like notice it's already there. Like, how? It just made no sense. Like, they didn't see these things coming. But I was happy about the Rancor. That made me happy a little bit, Yeah.
Finally, moment.
Yeah.
I would love to see him running with it, doing the running with it. That was cool, but it did a lot of fan service. It did everything you asked for. You want to see him on a Rancor, got that. You wanted to see Grogu, got that. You want to see him use the Force, you got that. As you said, it was kind of predictable and wasn't really a war. It was like a small kind of battle. A little.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It reminded me of like West Side Story, kind of Romeo and Juliet, where the two gangs kind of meet in the street, and they're like, with instead of like they just got like knives poking at each other. I was like, what? So yeah, it just was. Yeah, it wasn't a war. It wasn't a war. I wanted ships flying and freaking bombs exploding, like missiles and shit. Like instead we got the knee missile and from Boba, which was awesome, but still.
Yeah, Boba was told that he needed muscle, and I feel like 10 people showed up.
Yeah. It was like, you have all this money. And then on top of that, everyone came for free. So I was like,
you need to pay not $1. It doesn't make sense.
I'm like, go get some other like assassins or something. Just I know there's a bunch of them. So
even the gangs that turned on them, right? There was only like there's more of them. There wasn't the Pike Syndicate. It didn't make sense. And then here's the other question: how many times can Black Santa be shot? I just want to know. How many times you shoot him in the face? He's like, "Arr!"
Yeah. I was like, oh no, he's dead. Like,
what's going on?
I mean, I know he's a badass. I mean, for sure. But yeah, I mean, he's got like shot a lot.
Shot in the face. I was like, man, is this like a regular, like it's like a cat laser? Is that what that is? Like, I don't understand what's happening.
And then, another thing that was kind of like that was a little funny to me was the people with the mods. I was like, you have mods. Why are you missing every single shot? It's like, isn't that the reason why you got the mods? To be better? Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, they got the Stormtrooper mods. With the like the aiming is kind of like pointing everywhere. Yeah, I was just like, it was just like random little things. Like the one dude with the eye mod, he sees the 2 girls up top, and then even my girlfriend, and then he zooms in, and my girlfriend's like, you don't need to zoom in for that. What the like what? Really? You're like, oh, the like the two only women in the group, like in all the groups. They're like, oh, hey, is that them? Let me double check. And he zooms in. Like, what?
Yeah, that's him. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
with that big old gun. But yeah, that was. I thought it was like little things like that were kind of funny. It didn't take me out of anything, but it definitely like made me kind of giggle a little bit because it's like, why?
Well, how about
Like,
when
why?
he goes to surrender and he has the tablet, and then he's like, "Go ahead, read it," and
Yeah,
and it's not a
yeah,
surrender.
No, but
yeah.
like no one thought that, okay, this might be them trying to take our attention off of this. No one thought that the entire time. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is stupid.
That and then that was a lot of writing, and then I'm like, when did Boba Fett like become like a poet? Because like at the end he's like, and the grass will grow from the fertilized soil. That's like, what? Where did
It
Boba
was
learn
so
this?
funny 'cause, no, this is exactly what happened. And he was like, all right, give me that. And
Yeah.
that was like 30, like 3 seconds. And then he
It was
read
a short essay.
I'm like, what is
Maybe
going
we
on?
maybe he used predictive text. Like maybe he says that often.
He says that often. He had it pre-saved. He just opened up the file. Yeah. So I was like, even after he said all that, I was like, oh, I didn't know Boba Fett like was a little poet, like had little
So I'm a
like
poet.
what the heck?
That's what,
Yeah. So that was, like little things like that were funny. But the action, I gotta admit, was pretty good. Also, I'm getting more pissed off at Luke. I was like, really? You're gonna send the little 6-inch baby Yoda like to a whole planet by himself?
I'm pretty sure he ran away.
terrible dad.
It's like,
Terrible dad move.
oh man, yeah. I was like, I'm like, dude, at least go deliver him back. Like, what else are you doing? Like, the ant robots are building your temple. You can, like, he was your only student at the
I
time.
think he's
so-
trying to be back before Luke notices.
Oh, it's he put him to sleep with the same thing he did with the Rancor.
Yeah,
Is that what happened?
Why did Grogu go lay next to him like let's take a nap together? I didn't understand.
I don't know, because
I
I
think
think they're
he's
both
exhausted.
kids. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. But what's his
Alright,
name? Machete said like this is only a Machete. What the hell is his real name? Danny Trejo.
Trail, yeah.
He's just always Machete. He said he told Boba, he goes, oh, this is only a baby still. So I wonder if like Grogu knew that and it was like, yeah, we're just two babies to some Mandalorians. Yeah.
Well, in the Mandalorian, he put something to sleep too, and then he passes out later when he's in that crib.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's just a lot for him.
Yeah. I was really hoping he was gonna like rip off the robe and like have a little green lightsaber and start like messing stuff up. Because he was strutting around like out there. He's like walking out there like doing the what was that McGregor walk with the arms. He comes walking out like I got this. Yeah. So yeah, that was super cute. Yeah, it was good. I didn't hate it. The action was good. Had little like moments where you're kind of like giggles, you know, when you see like a little tank of like 7 guys rolling and they're like, yay! It was like
They
what?
did it. They're here. Like,
And they only got like
five
one big gun on the thing. Oh yeah, that was another thing. So those robots are from like the Clone War era because they kind of look exactly the same, slightly different. I was like, has no one figured out how to get past this stupid shield? Like,
Oh,
since the since the Phantom Menace, like that's the only way to do it is the big jelly balls, like in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Like no one else figured out how to stop this thing.
and then all of a sudden the Mandalorian's inside.
Yeah,
But and with the reason you do you get it's energy. It's an energy shield, right? So all you have to do is get the energy in one section to be all forced on
Like-
one section. You just walk in the back.
like weakened.
Yeah, so because it's only so much power. So if you get all focused on one side, you just walk in the back, and that was real simple.
Yeah.
So why did you guys do that before? Let's just all keep on shooting right in the front, and then someone just walk in the back. You just say, all right.
Yeah. Like no, like
What is
I don't know.
What are some things you didn't like about the episode. Things that should have done better.
You got anything, Sandy?
I don't. I kind of liked
No.
all of it.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I liked it. Fennec was kind of gone for all the good part of it, and I get what she was to go do.
Yeah.
But it kind of sucked. I wanted to see more Fennec because she's like, out of all of them, probably the best.
Badass. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and she just, went off to go, do the deed and, or not do the deed, but go kill the bad guys and, get them out of the way.
She
But
killed 7 people, which was all of them. So they came in with like 50 people. And they're like, oh my, their numbers are crazy. Those 50 people.
Yeah.
A strategically placed bomb would have done it just fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say that. I would say Fennec. Just the little funny things where you didn't notice until like you start paying attention. You're like, wait, why did they do this? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Kind of stuff. But yeah, it wasn't like bad.
The Dark Saber. I was very disappointed in the Dark Saber.
Yes. Although I would give it to him, he just doesn't know how to use it. Maybe.
Yeah, but if you don't know how to use it and Grogu's there, they had so much opportunity to do something with that
Just
story.
toss it to him.
Yeah, like
he
gets knocked out and Grogu grabs the Dark Saber and cuts through the thing. Like something should have happened. It just nothing came of it. Like, why would you even introduce it if nothing comes of it?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah. Because I'm like, oh, he's got the saber. He's just gonna slice right through it and walk through, and it just bounced off of it like he had a baseball bat or something. I was like, yeah. So I just kind of chalked it up like he just doesn't know what he's doing with it. Because to him it's just a stick, like a light stick. So like, so I don't know. But I was a little upset. I was like, oh man. I was like, maybe Boba will get it and knows what to do with it a little bit more than Mando, or I don't know. But
all of them.
Sucked.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I did like Boba's battle. That he killed that guy with his like tree stick that he found, or like
Bamfa stick, I think it's Bamfa.
That was really good. So that's probably the best fight, even though it should have went better. It should have been longer.
Yeah. Well, Cad Bane is old, and I guess a lot of people were talking crap about the way he looks from live action to the cartoon. So people were like upset. It's like they're saying like he's not blue enough. His nose is a little weird, and this like legit. That's what people were saying. And I don't know if you guys watch Star Wars Theory. He's a YouTuber. He's probably like the biggest YouTuber when it comes to Star Wars stuff. And he made a video about it, and he's like, well, that race that Cad Bane is from, he's like, anybody over 50 is considered like senior citizen, like 50. And Cad Bane would be like in his 70s. So he's like, imagine like Clint Eastwood, but like today's Clint Eastwood, like, like barely moving around and stuff like that. So he's like really, really old, in his species. So I'm like, yeah, I didn't mind the way he looked. So I was like, with stuff like that, also was like, he didn't do much as he did in the cartoon. Like he was also a really good like hand-to-hand combat and did a lot of crazy shit. This one, he was just like, I get they did it because of the graphics and budget or whatever they want to say, but like all he did was just like quick draw, and then that was it, and then walk slow. So,
well, if he's 70,
yeah, he's old man. So, but I don't. Do you think he's dead or
no? And I was saying because you saw the light blinking, so I know he's not dead.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to think to breathe it. It's the machine.
Yeah. We had the new thing on his head. I don't know how much you guys watched the Clone Wars cartoon. He never had that metal part that was there on his head this episode. So that's new. I don't know. He got like a safety just in case he dies. Like that little part of his brain is still alive. I don't know.
All you gotta do is take it and put it into another body or something.
Something crazy like that. But yeah, I don't think we'll see that because he's such a cool character. You know, he was really hard to kill in Clone Wars. Like no one can kill him. You know, so. But I did like seeing like I did not expect to see Cad Bane and Boba Fett together in live action. Like I never ever would have thought that because I'm like, oh, that's a cartoon thing. They're just gonna leave it, and they did it, which is super cool. Super.
I wish they would have dove more into it. Said, "I taught you." They just when the line said, "I taught you everything you know."
Yeah.
So how are you going to defeat me? That's what I wanted to hear. Just hear him say it.
Yeah. Well, he kind of said. Well, he said. He's like he did tell me like what did he say? He said something like, "I taught you everything." Oh no, he said. He goes, "Last lesson I'll teach you is like make yourself number one or whatever he said." So it kind of had that, but it didn't have the same kind of feeling to it.
I feel like it could have been more. I think it was actually that could have did a lot more because Boba, he was not a badass. He just was not a badass at all in this entire thing. Don't talk about the entire series. Just this whole season was just him getting his ass whooped from episode 1 to episode 7. Besides the 2 episodes of the Mandalorian in between, it was just him getting his ass whooped. That's just what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he had a pretty good, I guess, I don't know, surprise attack with Cad Bane at the end.
After you guys butt whooped. Yeah.
Yeah, after you guys butt whooped. Yeah.
Can anybody
That's what
explain?
it was.
Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
The very end when somebody's in his tank.
Yeah.
No.
So you know who that was, right?
No.
Those it was the sheriff, right?
Top breath. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so they said he was near death, and everyone said he was dead. So everyone thinks he's dead, but no. That's why Boba's like, oh, I wish I could go back into my tank, and it was like, no, someone's already been using it. Everyone thought that it was Chrysanthemum, right? You thought Chrysanthemum was in him because he got shot 85 times by like 45 people, but it wasn't. Apparently, yeah, it was Cobb still there. So he will be around, in later
Which is
episodes.
good. Yeah, I like that
because they killed him off too fast. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, and also the body modificator guy. I forgot who played that. He's a rapper. What was his name? Can't remember his name, but he was the one who did Fennec. Her body mods. He was in there, so I was like, oh, he's gonna do it to him too. Yeah.
Now I understand that.
Yeah, so he was gonna like do whatever he had to do to fix it, and then keep him alive.
He had to do what he did with Fennec. Give half your organs, whatever, make him whatever, and he'll be alive. That was what.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about like Boba just doesn't own the city? He pretty much owns the planet now at this point, because like all the other gang leaders are gone, and it's just the sheriff's town, was it Freetown, and Boba, and it seems like they're going to be working together. So Boba's in charge of an entire planet.
And then they said, and everyone was honoring him, and like, so what I got to do with my right arm? It was interesting that he said, "This doesn't fit us."
Yeah.
And then this time, Fennec is the one saying, "No, this is exactly good for us. This is what we need." But Boba felt like this is not right. This is not how we're supposed to be doing things. It's not for us. So, do you think Boba
settle down?
He's gonna be a mayor. He's gonna take care of the whole planet. He's gonna do that. That doesn't seem like him. He still wants to be an outlaw. He needs to be the outlaw.
Yeah. You can't be an outlaw when you are the law. You know what I mean? It's like
the law. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. So and yeah. I'm trying to think. So the entire season, there was a lot of people complaining that Boba was, including the actor who played Boba Fett. I can't think of his name. Said Boba talked way too much, and he had his helmet off way too much for the entire season. How'd you guys feel about that? Did he talk a lot?
I feel like he's not a Mandalorian, so he doesn't need his helmet.
Yeah, but
that was also the mystery behind him.
Yeah.
in all other Star Wars movies we've seen him, he had his helmet on, and this time he had his helmet on like it was a hat. You know, like every so often you have a hat on, and then the other rest of the time you don't have a hat. That's all it was. It was just like a hat to him. It was
Yeah.
weird. The connection with the Mandalorians and all that stuff is a real connection, you know. But it's not like he took it off when it was indoors. He just took it off all the time, walking through town, taking off. Then it's just, what's the point? Why would you fight through hell to go get this armor and never honor it the right way? That's just a lot of things that just didn't sit well with me.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it's
even like in this last episode. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, isn't it technically his dad's armor?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's his connection to it, like as far as getting it back.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but even his dad was given the armor by his like adopted dad, kind of like the whole story where it means a lot to them, kind of thing.
yeah,
So.
you think that he would honor it a little bit more, do more with it, and it's not what he's about. The whole season of Boba Fett, it seems almost just anticlimactic. Just wasn't what it could have been. It should have been more. The first 4 episodes were really, really slow. The 5th and 6th were amazing, but it wasn't Boba Fett. That was the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You know, and then the 7th, even we talk about, I like the 7th episode. Like if we were just rating the 7th episode, I would say that's a now. We definitely need to go see it now. But even if of that, it should have been better.
Just because I love your name and the profile pic is awesome. Happy Valentine's Day. A little bit early, but we'll take it. Happy Valentine's Day.
Check out our video for our Valentine's Day giveaway.
I don't want to. That is. I really do like that name. That is a funny ass name. Let's call you JDS. Though.
That works so many ways.
Oh man, yeah. But yeah. So I'm there with you. It's like, even in this last episode, there's a part where they're in the blown up bar. I was like, why isn't he wearing his helmet? Like I feel like that should be a spot where he should be wearing his helmet, you know. And at the end where he's walking the streets, wear your helmet. Like
he's just holding the helmet.
You know, yeah.
Maybe he's trying to rebrand.
I guess, but I don't know. I didn't care for that too much. You know, they should have just had him on. Like I get it, like the talking was kind of, I didn't mind it as much, even though a lot of people are like he's talking too much. I was like, he said like 2 words in all the movies before, before this. It was like, so I was like, yeah, I didn't mind the words, but I was like, just the helmet. Like I feel like, yeah, just wear it. Like if you're walking around town and you're greeting your people that you just took control of, it's like you should be in your armor and stuff like that. Instead, like because at first when he was like, when they were bowing, he bowed back. I'm like, oh, why is he smiling all the time? And then he said something like, oh, it hurts. So it's like him like holding back the pain. I was like, then definitely wear your helmet. Don't let people see that. Like, what the hell's your problem? Like,
it's not a badass. Can you imagine the aura around you matters a lot too? So people are not going to challenge you if you look like you're invincible. But he's just like a dude that gets his butt whooped all the time and just keeps on getting up. And they all see you get your butt whooped all the time and see you in pain all the time. You're just a guy. You're not like, think about Jabba. Jabba was, it was thought to be not just ruthless, but just unbeatable. So they thought that he's not. Why would I challenge him? Because he's a mythical entity, and that's not what he is. He could be it. He kept wearing his mask. That's why we like the Mandalorian so much. Jimmy, that's what we like. So why does he not take advantage of that? I don't know.
That's true, because I did feel different when the Mandalorian took his mask off. I'm like, oh, he's just a person. Like,
yeah, exactly. Then you're like, oh man, that's just a guy. It's different.
I don't mind him not like taking his mask off and stuff like that, like if he's at the dinner table or whatever, because everyone already knows what he looks like, because like, yeah, you look like your dad because you are a clone. You look like every other clone trooper, So I'm like, it's not a surprise on what you look like, you look like them all. But so also real quick, now that reminded me, there's a rumor that that actor might show up in the Ahsoka show as Rex. So throw a gray beard on him and say, hey, now you're Rex. And go. That would be awesome. That would be super cool. But that's just a rumor that I heard. But yeah, man. Anything else that kind of like either through the series or the season or the episode?
I think we should rate it. What do we really think with the rating of this episode of this series overall? What would you rate it?
So you want to go first, Sandy?
I can try.
I go for it.
I was excited because he came back, but I agree with Bryon. It feels like half of it wasn't even about him. It's about the Mandalorian. And then I do think he is trying to rebrand, though. So I feel like this stuff is sentimental to him, but that's not who he is. So I feel like I want to give it like a 7 or maybe a 7.5.
Around there.
Okay.
Yeah. I would probably give this episode like a now. Like this last episode was fun. It was good. The last 2 episodes were definitely like, gotta go watch it right now. But the entire season as a whole was probably okay. Like you could probably watch it later. Like for me, it's like not that important. Like I think you definitely, what we were telling Alfredo the other day is like you definitely got to watch it before season 3 of The Mandalorian because there's a lot. If you just watch episode 1 of The Mandalorian without watching Book of Boba Fett, you're like, wait, what's going on? Yeah, like you'd be so lost.
Chainmail?
Yeah, he's got chainmail. There's a new ship. He's like in the bubble in the backseat, which was hilarious. Like that's so funny. But yeah, so it's like that's why it's like you probably don't need to watch it like right now. You probably wait until Mandalorian season 3 gets, like a couple weeks before that comes out. Like, oh, let me watch this Boba Fett real quick and get ready for it and get caught up and be ready. But I don't know. That's where I'm at. What about you, Bryon?
I think the Book of Boba Fett just doesn't even fit the title. Like what this really should have been. Really, it was like the in between Mandalorian. That's what it should have been. All the things you asked about Boba Fett plus in between Mandalorian. How does he get to where he's going to next?
Mm-hmm.
Or what happens with Grogu? Those are the things that happen. The most important things that happen in this entire episode. So at the beginning of the episode, he was the ruler of the area, and he got from Jabba, whatever. And in the end, that he's the same exact thing. Nothing actually changed except his territory grew. Nothing actually changed with him. The only thing that did change is that the Mandalorian got Grogu back, and Grogu turned down being a Jedi to go back with the Mandalorian. Those are the only things that really changed in the episode from episode 1 to episode 7. So because of that, I gotta say, as you watch it right before Mandalorian season 3, and you're good. So it has to be a later. I mean, it's just it doesn't have to be watched right now.
Yeah.
There's so many missed opportunities. It seems like something that they did it, and then they're like, okay, well, we're just gonna put this out. We could make all these scenes way more intense, but it's good enough. So if you tell me it's good enough, just it's good enough, then I'm gonna tell you, it was just it was okay.
Yeah, like watch at least the last 3 before you watch the next season.
Definitely.
The last 3 will blow all the other 4 out the water.
Yeah, you can skip all the memory stuff. I feel like you don't really need that. Like you don't need the whole him with the Tusken Raiders or Tusken guys and stuff like that. And they kind of give you the info you need that's important from Cad Bane, saying who really killed him and kind of stuff like that. And yeah, the first 4 episodes you don't even need. Just watch the last 3 and then you're good. It's just like season 2.5 of Mandalorian.
Exactly.
That's really what it was. Like this was just like a
in between.
what's the yeah, not epilogue. Epilogue is after. What's the like a pre
like an
I can't
intermission.
think. Yeah. I mean, all it's doing is setting up season 3.
Yep.
And it did it in a really kind of cruddy way. Like,
And it could have been so good. There are things that are happening that they could have developed more, and they could have really used and made this into a really good series. And it just not that it was bad. It wasn't bad. It was just not needed. There was nothing that happened that changed my opinion on anything.
Yeah.
Is it exactly the way I thought about it before? This is what I think about it afterwards.
Yeah, I think if it could have been like a good movie about Boba, but even thinking like episodes 1 through 4, it would have been a really slow movie.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know. It was just I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it as much as I did. As much as I was expecting. I was expecting to be like, this is awesome, because when Boba showed up in Mandalorian, everyone lost their mind. Everyone lost their mind, and it was just like the coolest thing ever. It's like, a toy that's been lost for 30 years. You find it, like way later, and you're like, yes, But yeah, I just it I don't know. It didn't do the character justice. I get what they're trying to do. Yeah, I agree with you.
They had good like ideas. It's like they did a scrap, like they did an outline, and they said, "Oh, we should do this, this, and this," but they didn't add on to it to make it even more epic. Every episode, like those first 4 episodes, could have been 2. It could have been more. The battle could have been three episodes long. It could have been a lot going on, been more complicated. The Pike Syndicate could have been, 50,000 people instead of 50. Like there's just so many things that could have been could have happened. You could have brought more Mandalorians in.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
I want to see the armorer. I want to see more of her. Because I think Emily Swallow's awesome. So.
Do you think it's
God's brother or God's sister?
Exactly.
Do you think they're gonna go backwards, like how they made the movies out of order? Do you think they're gonna have like a pre-Book of Boba, like what happens after his dad dies? How does he get? Like I feel like that would be a good story, from where his dad dies to finding himself in the hole.
Well, they kind of give you a little bit of it in the Clone Wars, in the cartoon. They kind of touch a little bit of it, like when he's little and he's under Cad Bane and he's under these other assassins and stuff like that. You get a little bit of it, and then it just like it stops. Like the last time I think you see him is like he's still a preteen, and then next thing you know is like he's in Empire Strikes Back, standing in front of Vader. So was it Empire? Yeah, Empire Strikes Back. So I wouldn't mind that, but I'm done with flashbacks. I don't need any more of like why Boba's badass. Like we all know like he's badass. Like I want more of like him being a badass. Like
I like this character arc, to actually have an arc, like they have something and he grows and he does become something else, and he fulfills his Mandalorian ideas, and all the armor. He actually gains their respect, and he does more. Like he becomes a person himself. Like he's not just a clone. He becomes something specific himself. And I feel like that arc was not done because all we saw was flashbacks. And it was just it's kind of cheapens a really good idea and a really good story.
Yeah. I'm there with you with that one. Also like going back to like his armors, like his armor has a lot of meaning to the Mandalorian culture, you know. I think it's canon now from season 2 of Mandalorian when he showed his lineage. Like there's nerds out there that like deciphered like that language, and Jango Fett's adopted father was I forgot what his name was, but he was the leader of the Mandalorians at a time. So it's like that armor was the armor of like the person in charge of the entire people. So they got to tie that in somehow. Like it's not only the Darksaber that's a badass, it's also that armor. That armor has a lot of meaning to the Mandalorian people. So I hope they kind of start to touch stuff like that. I want to see him kind of get more into it with Bo-Katan, you know, when she has her show coming out. That would be super fun, you know, like because they don't see him as a real Mandalorian, even though, you know, if anything, you know, he's just as much as anybody else. Definitely more Mandalorian than Din Djarin is, you know.
Well, Din Djarin doesn't take off his helmet though. He's about to go back to his home planet and bathe in the lakes or whatever to make him
repent.
Yeah.
penance. Like it doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, he's just a foundling though too. Like he's not an actual born Mandalorian. You know, they found him and then they raised him to be a Mandalorian. You know, which I think is why that's important, because I think that's what's gonna happen with Grogu, is he's gonna be you know, another Mandalorian Jedi, which would be so sick. But yeah, I don't know. It just I'm hoping for good stuff in the future. I'm kind of excited about Kenobi. I don't know about you guys. I'm kind of, but it's also like what Sandy was saying. It's like more flashback stuff. It's going to be all stuff that happened between episode 3 and 4, which we already kind of know. You know, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I agree. And
Yeah,
how much can you even tell? How much more can you even say? Like you feel like you already kind of know the idea of what's happening. So are you gonna come up with these new things? I don't know.
What about you, Sandy?
that's how I feel. Like, is it gonna be better than Boba? Because you can't really go too far in the future with him, with Obi.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do the story of him and Chrysanthemum. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do that little, because that was like comic book, like where Chrysanthemum went to go kill Luke's uncle, and then Kenobi was like kind of stepped in and saved. So like Kenobi and Chrysanthemum fought, which was kind of awesome. I think they're going to do that, but besides that, there's nothing else. I mean, I already know how that story goes because it's from a comic book. So I really don't know what else is just going to show him talking to Qui-Gon Jinn,
or hiding from Vader, because I mean that's all he could be doing. You didn't go fight him.
Yeah,
they didn't know he was there. I mean, I haven't felt this feeling in 40 years. I mean, for 40 years they didn't see each other. So thus, what are you going to show? I don't know.
And that's the movie where he's creeping around the ship, right? Like,
yeah.
The New Hope. Yeah,
and that's when they say that I haven't felt this in such a long time. That's why it's not going to be any interaction between him and Vader. It shouldn't be.
they said there is.
or
They said they're going to fight, which doesn't make any sense, but okay. You know,
I'm with it. Whatever. Fine.
yeah, I'm cool with it, but I'm also just a little skeptical about it, you know, because like you said, you really can't go too much in his future because you already know what happened. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, maybe do you tie into Tusken Raiders from Book of Boba with Kenobi somehow too? You know, like
You have to expand on the world, on the entire universe. I think that's what's going to have to be more
Yeah.
expansion. That Kenobi didn't just sit there and watch Luke. He did a lot of other things too. So it could be even from the point where he handed Luke off to his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
did other things off world.
Maybe. Star Wars is not good with exploring. Star Wars is like there's a whole universe, but we're only going to talk about these 3 planets. So that's Star Wars in a nutshell.
All of us have light
know,
speed. We can go to all these planets that are all habitable, but we're only going to visit these 3. Here you go.
Yeah. So maybe. No.
There's the ear again.
I watched a video of like somebody grabbing their headphones and a big spider came out of the ear thing, and now I'm like freaking out every time. I got to like look in there, feel around, make sure. Because I'm in the basement, so there's a lot of spiders.
Now you messed me up. Now
Yeah,
I know.
Like looking around. I don't know, man. Anything else? I think we're coming to the end of it.
Yeah, I mean that's really it. I mean it's a later. I mean that's just what it is. If I was on whatever scale you want to put it, it's right in the middle.
Yeah, I'll give it a slightly above average.
So
like the number where Sandy gave it like a 7. I'm right there.
0.1, 0.2. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it was good. It could have been better. It could have been epic. It could have been really, really epic. But
I think they should have spent more time and spent more money on it. It should have been epic.
Yeah. But anything else, Sandy?
I just hope that if there's more, that's when it gets more epic.
Yeah.
Mandalorian
season 2 would be better.
Mandalorian season 3.
Maybe the Mandalorian will be about Boba for the first couple episodes.
Oh my God. People will lose their mind. They would get so pissed off. They're like, I want to see Grogu. I don't want to see this old man. Yeah.
That's good.
Isn't there a show like two guys and a baby or something like?
Yeah, I think.
2 guys.
Oh no, that was like. Yeah, I was like, wasn't Ryan Reynolds in one of those like sitcoms like that? Like, was it 2 guys in a pizza place or whatever that was called? Yeah, geez, there you go. that was pretty much it.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Cool. So let's end this one here, and then we'll just kind of talk for a little bit.